the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here. Shaq's here. Kenny's here. Welcome to this edition of 2K Sports. And coming right up, we'll see the Utah Jazz playing against the Dallas Mavericks. For Dallas, playing under .500 basketball over the last 10 games, they can do better, and they'll try to get on the winning side tonight. And we talk about the future at the point guard position. Shaq, Dennis Smith Jr. already showing impact-level talent.
What's that?
Explosive.
Okay.
Airtight handle.
Mm-hmm.
Can get anywhere he wants.
What's your sound for airtight handle?
Okay.
That's lame.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Shaq. You need some air? But when he gets inside, that's when he finishes like the big guys. Boom! Shaq, you would like that because he has a boom finish. Okay. He can rock the rim.
Keeping it airtight, Ernie.
Yeah. Sound like you can't breathe.
Can I breathe now, Ernie? Almost died, Ernie.
Oh, my gosh. Every day I deal with this.
We have the Jazz as the road team for today's Western Conference matchup. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Looking for a different outcome this time around, the Dallas Mavericks took the loss in their last matchup in this season series against the Utah Jazz. And that game moved the season series to 2-0.
Yeah, in a game where offensively they were about as inconsistent as you're ever going to see them.
They needed to make a few runs, but it just never happened for them. And when you can't string things together, it's tough sledding. It's a tough way to go.
And David Aldridge is standing by for our pregame report. David, good evening.
Hey, Kev. Well, Rick Carlisle is a coaching graybeard. He's entering his second decade as coach of the Mavericks. He led them to the franchise's first and only title in 2011. Now, Eric Spoelstra lost that series to Carlisle, and he says of him, he's a Hall of Famer, a trailblazer as president of the Coaches Association. We all owe him a great deal. Kevin?
He is a legend. Thank you, D.A. At this very early stage, we know players are still trying to gel with one another. But, Clark, just how much can a team really change between the start of the season and the end of the season?
Kevin, it can be a night and day change in some cases because of injuries or change in personnel. Those things can show up during the course of a long season to make teams look totally different. And I think the changes that transpire with teams are usually more pronounced with younger teams because you can actually sometimes see those guys get better and better from week to week.
And it's the Mavericks to start out. And checking out Utah's opening lineup, Favors and Gobert, the tough pair inside. Rubio teams up with Mitchell in the backcourt. And it's Crowder in at the 3 slot. Here's Mitchell, and then Mitchell with the dunk.
Leaving the rest of the field in the dust.
Well, I think the defense flat out gave up. I mean, didn't even try to get back into the picture on that fast break finish.
Now, here is Smith. It's rebounded by Derek Favors. Mitchell outside. The pass to Rubio. Gobert dishes to Mitchell. It's rebounded by Dallas. Smith with it. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Chicago. The feed to Barnes. Gobert with the block. Rubio looking it over. Over Smith. Rubio misses.
That's good offense. The shot didn't go down, but they'll live with that.
Smith against Rubio. Powell, the pass to Mejri. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Clock at 6. Here's Barnes. Again, the miss by the Mavericks.
Still scoreless after 4 attempts, trying to take the lid off the basket.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Now, here's Doncic over Mitchell. Dallas again missing.
Yeah, trying to get going here, but that's an offer for the first 5 here to start the game.
Pass to Gobert. Rubio against Smith. And Rubio kicks to Crowder. Got a hand on it, and they're able to recover. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. And Dallas calls their first time out of the game.
Well, last season, a tough one for Crowder. Was moved from Boston to Cleveland and then moved again over to Utah at the deadline. Also struggled mightily with his shot and just had a down year. And a moment now to check out some of the numbers for Doncic. He's averaging 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And some pretty good numbers, guys. He's certainly making a contribution.
Better than expected. He still has a ways to go, but I like what I'm seeing right now.
If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. The game now all time.
And certainly not lacking in confidence. When Doncic gets these inside looks, he just jumps all over.
Rubio finds Gobert. Now Mitchell. Unloads from 13. And the jumper is good. Mitchell's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
Well, you know, Greg, they can count on him to get buckets. I mean, he's getting the ball because he's very efficient when he has it.
Now here's Powell. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Here's Barnes. Bank shot, no good.
That's exactly how you want to play it defensively, Kevin. I mean, getting a hand up to distract and bother the shooter. Not easy to stop somebody this deep inside.
Here's Rubio. 11-point game his last outing. Three-pointer, Crowder, score the basket. Nice shot after missing his first attempt.
And guys, this is what you like to see early on, gaining a little confidence from range.
Yeah, and you know it, Greg. Oftentimes you get that first one to drop and your confidence rises like yeast. It's good to get into a rhythm at the start of the game, no doubt.
Crowder with the steal. And the Jazz pushing it up now. Here's Rubio. Mitchell dishes to Rubio. Outside Crowder. Mitchell right side. Shoots over Doncic. Mitchell's shot is good. Mitchell's got 6.
And, you know, Kevin, they count on him to provide offense, and he knows how to fill it up.
Smith with it, guarded now by Rubio to stop the run. And there's the nice layup by Barnes.
Can't allow Barnes that kind of good position in the post because once he has it, it's dinner time.
Jazz leading by 5. Rubio the pass to Gobert. And it's Harrison Barnes with the foul. That's his first foul. Rubio against Smith, and Rubio kicks to Crowder. Lets it go from deep. Offensive rebound, Favors, and it's blocked. And it's out of bounds. Utah able to retain possession here. And a chance now to look at the small forwards who have been dominant this season offensively. 5th on the list, Harrison Barnes.
I mean, tremendously gifted athletically. I mean, we're used to seeing that at that spot on the floor, and they pretty much all give astonishing individual performances on any given night.
Well, we know the small forward spot is where the bulk of the scoring load rests on most teams. I mean, those players on that list always come through in the scoring department. These guys pack a lot of firepower.
And here's Crowder after Dennis Smith was able to get the three. Barnes against Mitchell. 5 to shoot. For 3. It's rebounded by Doncic. The Mavericks have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. And he slams it one-handed.
And how about the vision there from Doncic? Can make the easy pass and also the difficult one.
Now, here's Rubio. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. On the wing, Mitchell. At the top of the key, Favors. And Rubio kicks to Crowder. Shoots a fader, and that one good. Crowder's got 5.
And just enough wiggle room to get off his shot.
Yeah, I like the quick release, Greg. He does a nice job getting it up quickly, especially when he's facing a bigger defender.
He just powered that one down.
One of the game's top dunkers.
Absolutely salivates when he attacks the rim. You know, management for the Dallas Mavericks came right out and said they did not want to enter a rebuild phase. You know, sometimes we don't get exactly what we want, and 2 subpar years in a row certainly changed things for the Mavs.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
Smith finds Mesri. Barnes outside. And trying for the go-ahead basket, it doesn't go in. A veteran-laden team for the Mavs last year, Clark. Guys with some big contracts.
Yeah, when you're bumping up against that cap, it makes it really hard to start over. You have to really draft well, which I think they did last season. Dennis Smith Jr. became a really valuable asset.
Here's Rubio. Harrison Barnes picking up that last basket. Mitchell with it. He's picked up by Doncic. Mitchell outside. From the arc, Gobert trying to get open. No, it doesn't go. His 4th miss in 8 attempts.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
And Luka Doncic, not the top pick in the draft this past June, but one of the more exciting names out of this rookie class.
Dallas made a point to trade up and draft him. Doncic not playing in the Summer League as he has had a hefty workload in Europe before the draft. Still came away with Euro MVP honors, and at his age, that is incredible.
2 shots.
And that one falls, and that puts him up by 1 point. Clark, there was a rules change not too long ago that promoted more help defense, less one-on-one defense. Good or bad?
I like it. Again, there's always going to be a premium on defending one-on-one, but positioning defenders where you can help better and more, I think it's trying to make sure the offensive side doesn't get too much of an advantage where the rules had gone in the past. So I think it's a nice balancing act for the game.
And looking at Luka Doncic, incredibly mature for his age. Physically, the broad shoulders, weighing in about 230. Mentally, though, advanced understanding of how to play the game.
Now, here's Burks. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Fires the 3. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot. You know, Greg, it's amazing that Doncic, at his age, could already have such a complete offensive game.
I mean, a terrific skill set. In Europe, Doncic spent plenty of time as a primary ball handler. Obviously, can score in a number of ways, just a versatile threat.
Barea softly drops in the floater. And the Mavericks lead by 1.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Now, here's Burks. Launches it. That shot, no good. And the Mavericks going the other way now. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And always tough on the road, but that attack mindset that they brought offensively, I really felt like that set them apart.
And what stood out to me, Greg, was the aggressiveness. I mean, it seemed like they just were eager to get it done, wanted it a tad more than the other team.
Here's Exum after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket. Pass to Burks. And here is O'Neal. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Here's Cephalosha. Kleba with the rebound.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Yeah, the half and half balls are going their way, and that's really a function of effort and intensity. You know, the ball doesn't discriminate. Whoever goes and gets it, that's who owns it.
Now here's Matthews. 9 points last game out. Nowitzki, the pass to Barea. Matthews scanning the floor. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Matthews. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. Take a look at the Jazz. They reside in the 7th slot right now in the early part of the season. And, of course, Dallas. And they're down 4 spots from them.
And when I look at Dallas, with the start they've had, they've taken what was such a hopeful preseason and turned the mood sour.
Can't remember the last time I've seen optimism turn to pessimism as quickly as I have with these guys. I mean, their fans are already talking about who needs to be replaced.
Got it. Nice one there from Exum.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against Wynn.
I could not say it any better, showing you some real focus, taking it inside against the bigger man.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
O'Neal kicks to Cephalosha. The Jazz working the ball around now. Passes it to Burks. And here is O'Neal, defended by Nowitzki. O'Neal dishes to Cephalosha. Exum's shot is off.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
Matthews goes in. Over in the corner, Doncic. Nailed from three-point land. Doncic has got 7 points in the game.
And love how much Doncic believes in himself. It shows when he shoots off the pass like that.
Now, here is O'Neal. Defense right on him. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Here's Barea. He had 10 points in the win against the Bulls in Chicago.
Yeah, passed the ball well that last time out. Pinpoint passes and racked up a bunch of assists.
Now here's Nowitzki. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
Yeah, I like that. Confidence and power on display by Nowitzki there. Even when the defense is bumping him and making it tough, he stays right with it.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Free throw good, Nowitzki.
You know, it really shows on the face of Nowitzki how much he loves playing the game. And that kind of enthusiasm is infectious.
Up top, Burks. He's covered by Matthews. That's tipped. And so the first quarter is in the books. Mavericks ahead. They lead by 5. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. Now in the later stages of his career, Dirk Nowitzki talked about how special he feels marching his way up the all-time scoring leaderboard.
Makes you reflect. You know, milestones always make you reflect on everything. I've been really blessed.
And it's clear, GA, that Dirk still enjoys playing the game and draining buckets in a variety of ways.
You can't deny his legacy. Arguably the best 7-foot shooter in the history of our game, which is why he's so high up on that leaderboard.
And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Mavericks.
Well, you have to admire their intensity in the paint defensively. I mean, really contesting and even blocking shots. Definitely a factor early.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So on the floor for Utah, Exum and Burks, their backcourt. Cephalosha is out there with O'Neal. And it's Udoh in at the center position. Here's O'Neal after Luka Doncic's bucket. Now O'Neal from outside the arc. Barea pulls it in.
Yeah, not a great shot there, especially when you got a lockdown defender guarding you.
Agreed. I mean, when the defense is right there, you got to move the ball, make the extra pass. That's a case of a poor shot selection.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, as we know, Rudy Gobert is a 7-footer with an aggressive mentality. He said some guys don't have pride, but I do, sometimes too much. Quinn Snyder said he gets angry, which I like. Whatever kind of stereotypes Americans have about the French, they don't apply. Not to him anyway, guys.
Sacre bleu! Thank you, DA. He is indeed a fiery competitor.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
In an effort to protect the players, games are called a little tighter sometimes. And that said, Clark, which guys still bring the physicality that draw the eyes and the attention of the officials?
Well, some of these guys bring attention to themselves by virtue of their reputations. But in terms of physical presence, Steven Adams, to me, is just a behemoth of a guy.
He's grit. He's just all grit, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he just oozes that with his size and the way he goes about his work.
He does. Now, here's Burks.
And Matthews doing a really good job contesting shots, using his quick hands very well there on defense.
To the middle, and Exum comes to help, and Dante Exum picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for O'Neal. Here's Doncic, and it's denied, but they get it back. Kleba kicks to Doncic. Makes it off the glass. Doncic has got 14. Jazz trail by 12. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Here's Cephalosha. He's been patient so far, nothing on the scoreboard yet. And where the shots been coming from tonight, here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for the Jazz.
And they've been doing a great job of getting into the paint and scoring inside. The defense allowing them easy access to the rim, and boy, are they taking advantage.
Now, here's Barea. The pass to Kleba. To the paint, here's Matthews. Count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist. And the Mavericks lead by 14.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
And the Jazz call time here. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
It's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game, and that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Dwight Powell's checked in for Maxi Kleber. Harrison Barnes comes in for Doncic. And it's Dennis Smith in for J.J. Barea. The Jazz shooting their first free throws of the game.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
He's off on the first. And Greg, right out of the gate, Donovan Mitchell seemed like a veteran more than a rookie.
I mean, his professionalism was one of the first things Ricky Rubio noticed about Mitchell. Father played minor league baseball, knows what it takes to succeed in professional sports. And you can just see it in his approach to practice and his commitment to improving his game. Mitchell was already the surprise of that 2017 draft, and I don't think there's any question he's destined to be a star.
Good on the second free throw. Here's Smith. They count on his contributions, currently providing 16.5 points a game. Barnes outside. About 3 minutes played so far in this second quarter. His three-pointer's off the mark. Jazz trail by 13. Rubio outside. It's Crowder on the wing, covered by Barnes. 6 on the shot clock. Nowitzki with the steal. Smith against Rubio. Smith outside. Matthews finds Nowitzki. Shot clock at 6. That's tipped. Stolen by Rubio. Down low, Mitchell. That's in, coming off an assist from Rubio. 11 points for Donovan Mitchell.
The D was all over him. They just couldn't react in time to stop that quick reverse.
Pass to Smith. Ball's knocked loose. And that'll be Dallas as it goes out of bounds. Mavericks retain possession. Dallas making a switch here. Measury's checked in. Four on the shot clock. And Matthews kicks to Smith. Shoots over Rubio. And that one hits back iron. Jazz trail by 11. Mitchell outside. Kicks it out to Rubio. The three-pointer no good. Dallas leading by 11. Here's Barnes. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down. Barnes has got his third basket of the night right there. Mitchell passes to Favors. Lobs it up for Favors. Lays it in off the pretty alley-oop.
And right there, Rubio doing what he does. Seeing the floor, exploring the defense, finding the open man, and getting him the ball.
Now here's Matthews. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game.
Has not made another three since the one he drilled in the first, but still, you got to defend him from beyond the arc.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Dallas has gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Smith kicks to Barnes. Shoots over Crowder, and that one's good. Barnes.
Timeout.
Barnes has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Boy, the quick release of Barnes is really something to behold, Kevin. A knockdown mid-range shooter who strokes it with confidence.
And the Jazz call time here. They come into this one following the loss to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and in a hostile environment, they did not rise to the occasion, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, there was no shine on that effort. Really lackluster. Their D was nowhere to be found.
Now, here's Mitchell. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Memphis. Crowder against Barnes. He kicks to Smith. Pass to Powell. Wants to get it to Matthews and does. Shoots over Crowder. Matthews no good. So it's Rubio bringing it up for Utah. To the middle. Here's Crowder. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. That's 7 points for Jay Crowder.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist. He continues to struggle from the field. But luckily for him and his team, his teammates have been able to pick him up and get the job done.
Now here's Gobert. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Memphis.
Kudos to him for his energy, especially on the glass where he was an absolute beast.
Rubio against Smith. Pulls it from 20. Barnes grabs the miss. Barnes has got his 4th rebound in this one.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game. As the game has gone along, they've gotten more and more aggressive on the backboard.
Well, it's paid off with a greater rate of second chance hoops. I mean, great effort to build this lead on their part.
Dwight Powell, a nice player who has carved out a good role for himself on this team. You can start him if you need to, Clark, or he'll give you a spark off the bench.
I think his greatest value is, though, bringing that spark off the bench. I mean, some guys are just as productive in limited minutes as they would be in starting minutes, so he's one of those kinds of guys. He's excellent at finishing around the rim and creating havoc with his activity at both ends of the floor.
The free throw drops for Powell.
The length and mobility of Powell is really impressive. He's a solid big guy who I think continues just to get better at both ends.
Now, here's Rubio. One of the dependable scorers on the team. He's averaging close to 17 points a game. Gobert with it. Now, here's Mitchell. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Mitchell's got 13 points.
How good is that? I mean, he can make a defender look foolish at times.
Smith outside. Sinks the triple. And the Mavericks lead by 13.
And I tell you what, if the defender is not on Smith before the pass, it's too late because he's always ready to fire, and he burns you.
Now, here's Rubio. Mitchell kicks to Favors. Shoots over Powell. Favors can't get it to go. Mavericks leading by 13. Here's Matthews, and it's Matthews with the jam.
And, you know, this is why you got to keep Matthews away from the basket. I mean, once he's inside, Kevin, he's prepared to throw it down on you.
Here's Mitchell. He's got 13. Back to Gobert. On the wing, Mitchell. Outside, Favors. Three-pointer, Crowder. They get it back. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. J.J. Barea checked in for Dallas. And Utah also making a switch. O'Neal's checked in for Derek Favors. Dallas has gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Smith kicks to Measuring. Dallas moving the ball around. That's tipped. And here's Barea. His scoring average sitting at 15 points a game right now. That's a pretty sizable contribution. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And now a look at the upcoming schedule for the Utah Jazz. On Friday, they'll be facing Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. Then on Saturday, they'll be matching up with Al Horford and the Boston Celtics.
And for the matchup with the Pacers, that's a contest that could easily go either way. Small mistakes could be the difference, and both teams will need to be at their best.
Utah calls timeout.
And when you take a look at that shot chart, the amount of misses lately, really unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of blanks there. Can't hit a thing. Has to be deflating.
Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for Powell. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Udo's checked in for Gobert. Cephalosha comes in for Crowder. Burks, he's checked in for Mitchell. And it's Exum in for Ricky Rubio. Smith finds Barea. Barnes outside. Here's Kleber. And that's a foul. It's called on Thabo Cephalosha. That's his first foul. Dallas making a switch here. Doncic is checked in.
His first personal foul. Checking in for your Mavericks. Luka Doncic.
Here's Doncic. Passes it to Kleber. Barnes looking around. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Got a hand on it. And out of bounds as Utah gains possession. Jazz trail by 15. Now Burks. 1:58 left in the first half. Exum passes to Cephalosha. Clock at 6. To end the cold streak. That's in for the first basket of the game after 3 attempts.
And, you know, we've seen what Rick Carlisle can do on the court. He's a former coach of the year in the league and led the Mavs to a championship back in 2011. But his off-the-court talents are also very impressive.
Here's Barea. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. And so it's Burks bringing it up now for the Utah Jazz. After this one, they're off to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. And that game will be game 3 of 5 away from home. Cephalosha dishes to O'Neal. Cephalosha with it. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Misses the 3. And talking about Carlisle's outside interests, one I know of, he's an excellent pianist.
And you know what? He is. And he's played with a well-known musician or two in concert. Also an avid pilot. This guy is a Renaissance man.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Jazz trail by 13. And there's the pass to O'Neal. 43 seconds left to play in the first half. Burks on the wing. Utah needs to get off a shot here. A shot by Udo, no good. Mavericks leading by 13. There's 21 seconds left here in the second. Barea, no good.
The defense did not do a good job guarding that one, Kevin. Don't know how he missed that layup.
O'Neal passes to Exum. Here's Burks. And he jams it in.
Oh, up high and down hard with that one-hander.
He got a little extra forceful. You're right with that one.
Boy, that sounded like Greg Anthony stealing a little bit of Kevin's thunder. I know this guy's hoping to rouse his teammates for sure with that one.
He is, and Greg sounded better saying it than I did. And we finished one half of basketball. Mavericks lead by 11. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Harrison, a big first half for you offensively. How did you get loose?
My teammates just been finding me. I've just been trying to just run hard, make good backdoor cuts, run it in transition, and give me good looks.
You have not stopped moving at all, and it's led to good results. Thanks, Harrison. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Good to have you back. Ernie Johnson with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Luka Doncic has been the story in this one. He had 14 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Shaq, what's your take on Dallas?
I'll tell you what, Luka Doncic, this guy can create for himself and for people around him. He can get his own shot, any situation, but he also shows he's very unselfish.
Kenny, what do you have to say about the Jazz?
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that'll do it for us. The third quarter about to begin with Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll catch you on the flip side,
My brother.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. You know, Luka Doncic has been exceptional here, guys.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, I liked how they took the initiative. They were really locked into what they wanted, not letting the defense dictate their shot selection.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. Smith at point and Doncic next to him. Harrison Barnes is out there with Dwight Powell, and it's Mejri in at the 5 spot. So that's who Rick Carlisle starts the second half with. Now, here's Mitchell. Kicks it out to Rubio. Pass to Gobert. And here is Mitchell. Shoots over Powell. Pass to Crowder. From deep three-point range, Powell pulls it in. Powell's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
They have yet to hit a shot, a real slow start here in the second half.
Doncic passes to Barnes. Smith outside. Shoots over Rubio. And that one off the back of the rim and in. And it's 8 points for Dennis Smith.
Smith very crafty at finding ways to get room for that mid-range shot. He's got an awesome in-between game.
Now, here's Mitchell. Gets that one through the hole, make him now 7 of 13 in this game.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the third.
Smith with it, guarded now by Rubio. The 3 from Barnes. That's in for his 5th field goal of the game. Makes him 5 for 12 so far.
You know, Barnes is a good shooter from deep, Kevin. I mean, when he's in rhythm, he's dangerous from out there.
And though some were skeptical of the contract Harrison Barnes signed, he's lived up to it. Not an elite player yet, but is emerging on a franchise caliber level and continues to improve and is strong and consistent really on both ends of the floor.
Mitchell wide open. And there's the call on Rudy Gobert. That is his first foul of the game.
He can be dangerous from outside. Sure, he didn't get one to go in the first, but we know he can get on a roll and knock him down.
Mavericks leading by 11. Here's Doncic. 14 points for him. Passes it to Barnes. Second chance shot. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. And Greg with Barnes, beyond what he does on the floor, he does everything right off the floor.
Yeah, I mean, this organization just loves his intangibles and demeanor as a leader. Incredible work ethic that allows him to keep refining his game. Still very young and is growing into the player this team hoped he'd be.
And the first one drops.
And you got to appreciate the overall game of Barnes. He's efficient as a scorer and also works hard at the defensive end.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
You know, you look at Harrison Barnes, and the question when he went to the Mavericks was, can he carry the offense? Many thought he might just be a product of the Warriors system, which he left. Well, he answered all the questions, and it's clear that he can be the focal point of an offense.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Jazz had to weather the loss of Gordon Hayward, so they need to play together to have success. Coach Quinn Snyder said, we expect guys to put the team in front of themselves and support each other. Our strength isn't in one guy. We need each other. Kevin?
David, one thing for sure, they come to play almost every game. Thank you. And the Jazz call time here. And for Barnes, he heard the doubters when he left in free agency.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, a lot of people wondered if he could be a primary scoring option after being a complementary piece at Golden State, and he proved that he can be. Whenever he's been doubted, he's always risen to the challenge throughout his career, even going back to college. He can score the ball in a lot of different ways, and I don't think there's any question about him being an elite scorer the rest of his career.
He gets it in there. Howell's got his third basket of the night.
Everything going to plan here to start the third. 80% shooting thus far.
Crowder against Barnes. Crowder feeling it out a bit. No good on that one. And it's Dallas the other way.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
The pass to Smith. Buries the long-range jumper. Smith's got 11 points.
And it's been about that execution offensively. I mean, they have been superb.
Yeah, and you know, the ball moves faster than anybody's can, so that great ball movement and decision-making, they're making all the right moves, Greg.
And here is Mitchell, after Dennis Smith was able to get the three. Crowder from outside. Mejri with the rebound.
It's almost like he's trying to make things hard on himself. You know, he's just got to slow the game down, try to get some easy ones.
And that one drops.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
Now, here's Mitchell. He's got 18. And the shot goes in from Rudy Gobert.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Here's Dallas. They're on a 16-7 run. Smith with it, guarded now by Rubio. Barnes kicks to Smith. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two. Ricky Rubio picks one up.
Boy, and that electrifying speed of Smith puts the defense on its heels, forcing them to hit him when he's penetrating inside.
Well, Dennis Smith Jr., one of the scariest players to see coming at you down the lane, Clark. He can just wreck the rim.
Oh, big time, Kevin. Not only does he finish hard, he does so violently and with some anger attached to it. The kind of dunks where you're worried if defenders are going to get hurt trying to challenge him. This guy is explosive. No surprise he was in the dunk contest last season, and I don't think that's going to be his first invite.
Free throw drop for Smith.
Got to appreciate Dennis Smith now. I mean, this guy is terrific at scoring from everywhere. Very athletic and explosive.
Wesley Matthews checked in for Barnes. That one misses. And you know, Dennis Smith Jr. is a player who just is oozing with confidence when you see him play.
I just love how Smith Jr. will attack every player he goes up against. Chris Paul, who Smith Jr. goes way back with, noticed how even as a rookie, he approaches every challenge head on. As a rookie, Smith Jr. was just jawing at the vets and dunking on everyone. He has the game to back up that personality. Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
Now, here's Mitchell. 18 points for him. Takes the 13-footer on his 15th shot attempt. He makes his 9th basket, shooting a healthy 60% tonight.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
Doncic with it, defended by Gobert. Outside Matthews, and there's the foul on Jay Crowder. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. And the Mavericks making a change here. Nowitzki's checked in. Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for Utah. Exum comes in for Ricky Rubio. And stolen by Sefolosha. From 13, and foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. Wesley Matthews picks one up.
Foul. Elbow. 2.
The Jazz have converted 1 of 2 free throws so far today.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And guys, I'd have to credit the work they put in at the free throw line to practice this season. I mean, because they have noticeably improved since a year ago.
That free throw missing. J.J. Barea checked in for the Mavericks. Udo's checked in for Utah. And he's good on the second. And so it's Barea with it. He'll bring it up for the Mavericks. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. In the corner, Smith with it. Shot clock at 6. Shoots from the baseline. Gobert with the defensive effort.
And as he squares up from mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Yeah, I like the fact, Greg, that he crowded the shooter there, made him uncomfortable, got into his airspace a bit. Looked like he forced the shot.
Now here is Sefolosha, following the missed shot by Dennis Smith. Over Nowitzki. Another miss by Utah.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
Here's Gobert after Wesley Matthews' score. Nowitzki with the steal. And here we go. Fast break. Barea's got it. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
And a moment here to see the numbers for Sefolosha. He's right around 5 points a night, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And you look at those numbers, not bad. But, guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
First free throw is good.
You know, when I think of J.J. Barea, one of the words that comes to mind is fearless. I mean, he never hesitates to go right at big guys in the paint. Not afraid to force a tough pass through traffic. He's a very aggressive offensive player, and when you're as small as he is, sometimes that's the way you thrive.
Both good from the line that time. With Barea, he is usually the shortest player, Clark, on the court, so he has no choice but to be fearless.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, smaller guys typically play with an edge because it's been instilled in them from early on in their careers, because everybody tends to doubt guys that don't have great size. Barea knows how to play in space and understands the value of ball movement. And when other guys try to bully him, that little hombre is pretty strong, and he pushes right back.
Dallas ball.
And here's a look now at the shot chart showing the field goals attempted locations for Mitchell.
Right now, after looking at that chart, you pretty much can just jog down the court. He gets it in the paint. That just time and time again, he's worked his way in close and made a shot over a defender or found another way to convert. Just great stuff coming from him thus far.
Kleba, no good.
And that's solid defense, rock solid, contesting without fouling. Well done.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. And now here's the upcoming schedule for the Dallas Mavericks. On Saturday, they'll be playing against Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors. And then on Monday, they'll take on Marc Gasol and the Memphis Grizzlies.
And for their matchup with the Celtics, you know they're going to be amped up for that one. And they'll need to be. That's going to be one tough game for that group.
The first one falls. He hits both from the stripe. This NBA, Clark, amazing. The potential now for some players to play into their 40s. In fact, we're seeing a couple guys in their 40s playing right now and playing well.
Yeah, you know, I thought about it when we started to see this influx, Kevin, of high school players coming into the league at 19, 20, 21 with the advancement in nutrition knowledge and training methods and preservation of the body and taking care of it, that we might see more longer careers. But if you start at 21 and play 15 years, that's still only 36. So I think we're going to see some more guys in the 40s, but I still think it's going to be a small number by and large.
And that was an Unleashed Chaos moment indeed. What a spectacular play, sponsored by Under Armour Hover Havoc. Now here's Barea. He feeds it to Nowitzki. The rebound by the Jazz.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Textbook defense all around. Nice job at contesting the shot without fouling, and that's how you do it. Well done.
Now here's Burks. Dirk Nowitzki unable to get his shot to go. Pass to Exum. Matthews against Cephalosha. 5 on the clock. Floats one. Here's Udo. And finally they hit one. Udo's got his first 2 points of the night.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
Yeah, it's finishing your defense, Greg. We know that. You can defend, then you got to rebound the miss, and you got to get to the glass with intensity.
Now here's Matthews. 8 points for him. And the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him.
And not quite as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half, sticking to the high percentage shots, playing smart with the lead.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
One shot.
Matthews, no good on that one.
And, you know, Wes Matthews still a very talented player in this league. I mean, excellent presence on both ends of the floor, and he certainly has always been a solid defender on the wing.
Now here's Exum, following the shot by Alec Burks.
2 minutes left.
O'Neal against Barea. Utah gets it back.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys. Boy, I like seeing that toughness on the offensive glass. Did a nice job judging, anticipating where the miss was going, and then putting it back in. Nicely done.
Now here is Smith. 12 points for him. Kicks it out to Nowitzki. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Smith's got 6 assists in the game. And for Matthews, he prides himself on being a two-way player.
And, you know, his three-point shooting percentage might not be that impressive, but given the volume of threes he takes, pretty solid. He's a terrific character guy, hardworking, always engaged. and he doesn't need to have the ball to stay involved. I mean, this guy's never going to be a star, but he's going to be one of those guys that always adds value to a team.
No other way to put it, just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack.
Exum kicks to Burks. There's the triple, but they recover it.
And that's a nice job on the offensive glass there. That'll let them work the clock even more.
A second chance effort. Count the basket. Burks has got 4 points in the quarter.
And all those second chance points have given them a boost here in the second half, and that's a great way to cut into the lead.
Smith finds Matthews. Back to Smith. O'Neal against Matthews. Whistle blows, bucket is good, and he'll have a chance at the line to make it a three-point play.
And since halftime, he has been a different player.
The Mavericks have been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12.
One shot. One shot.
Free throw, good. Matthews.
Yeah, you know, Wesley Matthews has made himself an efficient scorer who also has gained a reputation as a good defender.
Rubio against Barea. Teardrop shot, and Rubio with the lay-in.
Resplendent release on the floater. When executed correctly, it's a beautiful, effective shot.
And here's Barnes for three. No good on the last second attempt there. And so it's the Dallas Mavericks holding a big 18-point lead to close the quarter. They've been playing some ferocious defense. Back right after this. Rick Carlisle had some words for his team. Let's hear what he had to say.
Hold your ground. Hold your ground. Your job is just to stay in front of this guy. No blow-bys.
Well, preaching strong defense there, GA.
I mean, basic fundamentals. He doesn't want to see anyone on his team get burned on that end.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. Taking a look at the Jazz. Ricky Rubio is out there with Alec Burks. Then it's O'Neal. Then there's Udoh. And it's Cephalosha in at the power forward. And the basket by Nowitzki.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Now, here's Burks. Clark, when you were playing to complement your inside game, you had that wonderful mid-range jumper, but more and more, players are going away from it.
I think it's all driven by analytics, Kevin. I mean, everything is about the three-point shot, efficiency of your possessions, go for three when you can or get it to the rim. And that makes sense from a mathematical standpoint. From a game standpoint, though, if a quality shot is a mid-range shot for a good shooter, I think you should take them all the time. I mean, that would just be my posture. So I differ with the analytics. I understand what they say. But if I was coaching, guys get a good mid-range jumper from a quality shooter, we're shooting it every time.
Oh, Kevin, get a load of that one. Take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook, boys.
Perfectly done. You're right. He put it on a platter for him.
And a nice touch on the finish.
Now here's Barea. Barnes outside. From outside, off the mark.
They've been the better rebounding team by a healthy margin, but it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, you know, they're hustling and giving a good effort, that's for sure, but unfortunately, the execution has been lacking.
Here's Barea. And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half in this fourth quarter. Teardrop shot. Rebound, Utah. Favors got 7 rebounds in the game.
And, you know, even though they're up, he's been off his game this quarter, having trouble finding the basket.
Now, here's Doncic. Burks covering. Now, here's Doncic. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good.
And it just seems when Doncic turns it on, it's a sight to see. Incredible at scoring in a variety of ways.
Now, here's Burks. And here is Cephalosha. They could use a bucket. Misses off the left iron. For Dallas, they've gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. And Doncic gets it to go.
And every move he makes looks like the right one at this point.
No doubt about it, Greg. I mean, the game comes so naturally to him, easily. I mean, helping to expand their lead as they try to close this one out. He's doing it.
Here's Cephalosha. After Luka Doncic's bucket. Now Rubio. Back to Cephalosha. Shoots over Mejri. And a little luck that time, but it drops. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. Doncic with it. Feeds to Barea. And Nowitzki has it in the corner. Now, here's Doncic. Guarded closely. Oh, here we go now. Crowder's got it. The fast break chance. It's rebounded by Dallas. Mejri's got 5 rebounds tonight. Barea, the pass to Nowitzki. Doncic dishes to Barea. Pass to Doncic. Just 5 on the clock. Launches a 3, and it's J.J. Barea with the 3.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
And Favors kicks to Cephalosha. Pass to Rubio. In the recent CBA, there have been a lot of provisions put in there for retired players. Health insurance, increase in pensions, Clark, reimbursement for tuition. What do you think of these changes?
Love them, Kevin. Absolutely love them. And again, credit to the league and to the Players Association for thinking outside the box, reaching back to benefit some of the former players that are actually in need of these benefits and deserving of them. Come on now. Those guys paved the way in many ways for what we see of the league now. And most players appreciate and recognize that. And for it to be tangibly recognized and rewarded is great to see. I love it.
Now Rubio. Dirk Nowitzki missing from long range. Cephalosha against Barea. Kicks it to Doncic. Barnes outside. Trains it from beyond the arc. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Mavericks.
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
Yeah, but they've been offensive defensively tonight because they've really forced the issue on D and come up with quite a few steals and deflections.
Now here's Barnes following the shot by Alec Burks. The drive by Barnes. Lays it up and banks it in. Barnes has got 12 points in just the second half.
Excellent concentration from Barnes. I mean, when he's penetrating inside, he's determined to beat everybody to the cup.
Here's Cephalosha. Fires the 3. Offensive rebound. Favors. It's deflected, and he gets it back. Barnes against Cephalosha. Rubio outside. Three-pointer on the way. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Clark, over your many years in the NBA, you've seen labor unrest, but per the most recent CBA, we have the potential for a decade-long stretch now of labor peace.
Yeah, and I think that's great for all sides. And you've got to recognize that some of the unrest in the past was really necessary to get to this place where we may have labor and league peace for the next decade. I mean, there's no justice without struggle. There's no smooth sailing without some bumpy sailing at times. So credit the league, the Players Association, and the players for getting to this place now where the league is doing well in all measures and the game is healthy and good. But that's a team effort by all involved.
Another miss by Utah.
I thought he had the space to shoot comfortably there, and disappointed that he missed it.
Harris outside. To the middle, broke off, and the layup is good after a nice lead pass.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Now here is Harris. Derek Favors unable to get his shot to go. Allen against Harris. Down low. Finney-Smith kicks to Harris. There's the pass to Nowitzki. Tries again. It's rebounded by Neto. And so it's Neto with the ball. He'll bring it up for Utah to halt the run. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. Dirk Nowitzki picks up that. Clark, an interesting aspect of the one-and-done controversy. Increasingly, these guys are being asked to take on a big role in the NBA right away.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm all for guys that have the unique ability and opportunity to play pro basketball out of high school or after 1 or 2 years of college. I would love to see college kids hang around for 2 or 3 years, but that's not realistic for the supremely gifted. But it does put pressure on your teams if you're expecting these young guys to come in and impact winning right away. Takes a little time, most cases, for even really highly talented players to become winning NBA players.
Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Matthews comes in for Harris.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
That's exactly when you need to be aggressive, Greg. You know that. I mean, another good job, though, of drawing contact and getting to the free throw line.
Now here's Allen. Pass to Udo. He dishes it to Crowder. Here's Niang. Back to Crowder. Shot from 12. And the rebound goes to Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got his 4th rebound in this one. Knocked away. Allen against Matthews. Allen finds Neto. Back to Allen. Over Brunson. That shot, no good. And it's Dallas the other way. You know, Clark, when you think about it, all fans really care about is winning, and that's hard to pull off when you're the only star on your team. And we see it all over the league.
You know, basketball is not tennis or golf. It's a team game, and one man can't win a championship by himself. I mean, when you look at all the championship teams, they were championship teams, not driven by just one star player. And it's a blessing when you can play with other good players, and that's what all good players desire to do at some point in their career.
Royce O'Neal's checked in for Utah. Neto kicks to Niang. The Jazz working the ball around now. Udo gets the bucket.
Boy, I like seeing the ball get to that spot. Reminds me of my days doing work down there. When you have this kind of positioning, scoring is simple.
Now here's Barea, and there's a whistle. That goes on Neto. That's his first foul.
Yeah, clearly a foul of frustration right there.
Not his best moment. Obviously, no one on their team's happy right now, but you shouldn't be taking that frustration out on your opponent with a poor foul.
Here's Kleba. Pass to Doncic. Just 5 to shoot. O'Neal with the defensive effort. Utah's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Allen battles through traffic and lays it in.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Boy, like his intensity, Greg. He's not afraid to take it straight to the rack on the bigger defender. Right at him.
Now here's Barea. And the rejection by Udo. And he recovers it. Kleba kicks to Doncic. Over O'Neal. Doncic, no good. The Jazz shooting struggles apparent, 37% from the field.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Mavericks.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
Really a big-time win for these guys. They lost their first 2 games of the year to this team, so they won't be in danger of getting swept when they meet for the 4th time.
And you got to believe that's important, Greg. I mean, it's one thing to lose both games of an inter-conference series. It's a whole different story losing all 4 games to a team from your own conference.
And a great team effort tonight, helped in large part with contributions, and the nice night it ended up being for Harrison Barnes.
You can't look back at too many major moments in this game and not see his imprint put all over it.
The first free throw is good. A lot of super teams trying to form right now, Clark, in the NBA. Golden State, one of them. Talk about some of the sacrifices stars have to make, for instance, in Houston, when they join forces.
Kevin, that's such a great point, and one that's often just overlooked or underemphasized, the sacrifices you have to make to be a championship team, and usually that starts at the top of your roster with your best players. And sometimes they have to bend and mold their games to the people around them. So that's the hard part of it. Just because you put together a lot of talent, as we've seen, doesn't mean you're going to win a championship. So the sacrifices, the commitment, those are big parts of contending for titles.
Now here's Barea. Wing shot on the way. Good again. He's on tonight, 9 for 13 shooting.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Well, they've got to be pleased with the effort they've seen so far tonight. Everybody pitching in for what looks to be a solid W.
Here's Niang. Got a hand on it. 24 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Allen against Barea. Up and in on the layup.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Exactly. Cold-blooded. Separation solidified. Great effort.
O'Neal passes to Neto. Banked in off the glass.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
Now, here's Doncic. So we see the Mavericks taking the win here. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And, you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
And that'll do it, folks. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.